exactly top of the hour. We'll start at exactly the top of the hour and take it back to back. So, um, if you don't mind, maybe we can delay 10 minutes. And if Quantec is not here and Project Genesis is around, they can do their time and goes on and on like that until we have everyone join at a specific time. How does it sound?
I think 10 minutes may be quite long to wait, or maybe I misunderstood. Were you suggesting Quantec go now?
Quantec is not around. Memos is not around now. So it's Alfred here. Alfred, are you around?
I don't think Alfred is here either.
All right. How about next chain? Next chain says he's in the waiting room. Adufa, are you able to add them right now?
I'm sorry, can you come again?
Next chain hub lead says he's on the waiting room. Are there people in the waiting room? Can you
No, there's no one in the waiting room.
uh how about Boaz? Is Boaz on the call? I assume Boaz is also not here now. Maybe they are waiting to pick their time until later time. That was the basic understanding. But I've seen Abdul here. Hi, Abdul.
Uh, well, and
Abdul, how are you?
I'm good.
So maybe we can start with you if you are ready. Your time was supposed to be a bit later, but once you are here
I
and
think it's 2 minutes to my time.
it's 2 minutes your time.
Yeah.
All right then. Uh, okay, but can we start nonetheless? Abdul, if you are talking,
Okay.
probably.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, so Taps, what do you want to say before Abdul uh, takes over?
Um, so maybe I'll just give some context.
Yeah, the context. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a check-in call with evaluators yesterday, and we were hearing how they were starting to evaluate the teams and the projects. And Clement, he had the great idea of how good it would be to have the chance to meet the teams or the hub leads and just kind of like get to know them a little bit, say hello, see what their vibe is, because although the globe is presenting a lot of information, it's not the same as real person-to-person connection, right? So
Yeah.
this is what this space is for, to create that opportunity to connect with each other. And I will say as well, it's if there's no strong reason why to not use video, and if you are able to use video, then I think it will make it a lot more engaging
Yeah.
for everybody. So I will turn mine on as well.
Can we do that now? Those who can be on video. I'm trying to put on a light in my room and do some makeup before I come, but anyone who is ready.
Exactly. Apologies. I won't be able to on my own video because of the light issue.
No worries, no worries. Abdul, let's kickstart. Introduce yourself. Let's know you what's happening in Let's Trend Hub since the submission of your teams. What is the vibe? What is the energy? And if any of our evaluators have any questions for you specifically, they can
Okay.
take about 10 minutes to do the start now.
All right. Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you, Tabs, for all that you have been doing all this while. We sincerely appreciate the support. And I am leading Next Trend Up from Lagos, Nigeria. And the CATS hackathon program has been a very useful event for us to have some kind of a different perspective in what we are thinking before now, as far as all this project that we submitted for participation is concerned. Though it has been tough, to be honest with you, because we have to find all things possible to get things done without a very defined direction. I mean, it was difficult, to be honest, but at the same time, it was actually a good experience for us in the sense that it really redefined the approach on how hackathon have been organized in our local community here. Where we have a predefined problem statement, people have to work on that. So people get scored on scorecards, like exactly what evaluators are looking at or judges are looking into, them. We build in that very direction. But this program, as it is defined, it gives us a chance to go beyond and above the potential we are unable to see earlier before this program. Particularly, many of our members agree to the fact that they have a shift in their own thinking of building their project, probably on a specific standalone application through we have things building infrastructure instead of building applications and stuff like that. And the most exciting part and the most interesting part to me, most tough and exciting part was when we had to select the top 3 projects. It was very difficult for me as a hub lead, and I think I ran to Sami, ran to Tabs to see how we can achieve that, and to the best of our ability, to try all things possible to make it very fair to all participating teams to ensure that we get all the top 3 that we selected without any kind of, or let me say, free of biases or whatever the case may be. So, to the best point of our ability, we targeted building from the local problem. And yeah, that's basically what I can say as of now. A lot to say, but the time frame wouldn't allow me.
Thank you, Abdul. I think it's a good summary, high level, and
Thank you.
that's what we want because we want to do this within the 10 minutes space as the communication was sent out. So, evaluators, this is Abdul from Next Trend Hub, and what is I said. If there are any questions around, kindly raise your hand or unmute, and let's take it over. Clement is here. Sydney, Mr. Hadling. Yeah. Any other evaluator will be available now? Are there any questions for Abdul?
I think that the idea was not to really ask questions or things. We can take it up on the main platform, but just to get to know the project. So it's okay if they can just proceed for who's next.
All right. Abdul, so yes, are you able to tell us your top project? You said it was very difficult for you coming up with the top 3. In the end, you managed to pull that through high level, how the procedure went out, and also what projects did you present?
Okay. Initially, we were expecting that the evaluation would be from WADA and Prisma teams. So we were able to submitted about 11 projects. And out of the 11 projects, when we are asked to, when Up Leader asked to submit the top 3, like I said, the only reason why it was difficult for us to do that very selection was actually because of the fact that I personally myself am participating in a team. So, and it will not make any sense to just select teams without very proper organizing. So, what we did initially was that we have a call all together with all participating teams. We relay the message, explain to them what is the expectation of the evaluators from the guys that was the presenter that was the guy that was presented on one of these calls, and everybody understand what is expected of each team to have implemented in their project before the evaluation period. So we use that very yardstick to actually shortlisted some teams earlier, and we are able to get about up to 9 teams. Out of the 11 teams, we filter 3 out, and we add a call again where we all agree that to avoid any kind of biases, the initial content that we add on the globe, I mean, the data that we add on the globe, we want to use them to evaluate the top 5, not necessarily to be the top 3, the top 5. Then we send the top 5 to other team now to help us to select their preferred top 3, because all of these projects are of very high quality to us that we believe they will do wonderfully well, and that make it a very hard choice for us to make. So we leverage AI models, I mean the LLMs. We use 5 LLMs to evaluate the 6 projects, sorry. Because we initially, when we had the 9 projects listed, we reschedule a call for another time, and we announce about 72 hours that everything should join the call. On that very day, we are supposed to add the call for the final selection using the LLMs. We had about 6 teams that were present as at exactly the time that we are supposed to convene. Then we waited 40 minutes for other teams to join us, but unfortunately, they were not part of the call. And on that very call, we made the decision, collectively agreed that for any team that were not part of the call, their projects should not be considered evaluated using the approach that we leveraged, and we agree anonymously on the call. So for the 6 teams that were present on that very day, we used 5 LLMs to evaluate the project based on the provided data earlier before the information was given, just to avoid any kind of bias, because we try to stick on that, not to give any kind of influence for any team having understand what the evaluation requirement is. So we use the existing data to evaluate the product, and we take the average score of each of these LLM score to be assigned to project, and we rank them 1 to 5. And 3 projects the 5 projects were ranked 1 to 5. I really want to mention the name of the project because the evaluation is still ongoing. You don't know. Because of that, I won't do that. So we have the 5 ranked project, and the 5 ranked project was sent to the Prisma team to help us select their own preferred top 3 out of the 5 selected, and that was done. And that was how we are able to present it, Catalyst, Tech KR, and also Web Teams product as the top 3 projects we are presenting from next trend up. And what Catalyst is actually doing is looking into the informal market sector and the emerging market in Africa. I mean, in Lagos, Nigeria, we are trying to build the gap between the informal sector and the financial world, where we identify the gap of about $32 billion financial transaction on a daily basis. So we're trying to cover the gap through Catalyst. And there is TechKR, which are mainly focused on empowering local artisans, developers. And we identify that there are a lot of young Nigerian people in Lagos State that actually have this talent, they have skills, but they lack visibility in the global space. So we want to build a platform that can connect these the skills people with those in need of these kind of skills. So we want to connect, we are building platform to connect these 2 individuals. And the third one is the agri-datum, where we see invisible work of the farmer activities making profit in their outfit, but the fact that they have no record to keep all whatever the activities is poses a problem for them to secure finance to do much of their agricultural farming system. So we are building a kind of a system for them that leverage Cardano ledger to record these farmers access data that can probably support them in any need of them to have investment to do their farming system. So those are the three projects that we see to be most profound, sound local problem, solving local problem that we presented.
Thank you very much, Abdul. Thank you. Tabs, you helped into looking at the 5 projects, and in the end, we help in the eventual 3, which was presented. Do you have anything to say before we proceed?
Yeah, all I want to say is that all of the 5 teams that I reviewed were really strong. And I think Next Trend has shown consistent engagement throughout the whole program from the very beginning. And we have several calls in the docs where you can see me and Abdul Basit having a conversation. And in one of them in particular, he conveyed how they've really been trying to not skip the process and really engage with these principles that we're offering for working on uh, living systems regeneratively. And that moment I remember very clearly because I was very grateful to hear that they were making that effort. So yeah, just a big thank you to the whole Next Trend Hub and all of the teams.
Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you, Tash. Thank you, Abdul. We have already done past next trends allotted time, so maybe we can go to the next hub now. Checking on the list, who's available. Still, Memos is trying to join. He tells me he's on a different link. I'm trying to work that out. But do we have Boaz? Boaz, are you here?
Yeah, right. I'm inside, but my people were prepared for uh 5 half. I don't know if it requires team lead is or it's only the hub lead who is required to be here.
Perhaps I can. Sorry, Boaz, I can hear you clearly. I don't know if it's for me or for everyone. But can you speak up a bit?
Can you hear me?
Yes, but please speak up a bit.
Okay, I'm trying to do my best. I don't know if the voice is okay.
Yeah, we can manage with it. Please go ahead.
Great, thank you. So I was waiting for 30 to begin. I don't know if it requires the MEM team to be inside here or not.
Are you using
So if
the
not, I
keyboard,
can
the
do
mouse?
what you. No. Hello, can you hear me?
We can
Yes.
hear you. Yeah. I think it's okay for you to begin now, or are you saying you are waiting for people?
Yeah, right. So I don't know the structure of how things are going here because I was waiting for 30 is my slot. So I don't know if there are some questions, it's a general presentation or something else. It's what I'm asking for.
No, the schedule no longer applies because we started in a different order. So if you're ready now, then we can proceed. But if you are not yet ready, then please do say.
Good. So my question, so that I may know that I'm ready or not, I'd like to know if I represent all the 3 top projects from Goma or they have to present by themselves. That's my purpose.
If you're able to organize for them to be here within the next 5 minutes, then let's try and do that. But if not, then you will represent the rest of the teams.
Good. Thank you. Give me these 5 minutes so I can try to bring them on stage.
Okay, so while Boaz is trying to organize things locally down there. I see Kidus on the list. Kidus, are you ready to tell us your situation in your hub?
Yeah, hi Sam. We have three hubs and we work with hub leads. So let me just check through the list. Emerald is here. So we can start with the directed Abuja hub. Emerald, are you ready to talk?
Emerald, if you are talking, you're on mute.
Yeah, if Emerald is not ready, we also have other people like Promise and Nahum. So one of them can go. All three people are from directed, different hubs, of course.
Promise is with which hub exactly?
Uh, Promise Kigali, Umurava, directed ex Umurava hub.
Okay, Promise, are you able to unmute and tell us what happened in your hub?
Okay, he's gonna set up his camera. He needs 3 minutes. There's one more guy I can call on to see. Nahum, are you ready?
Nahum is from which hub?
Addis Ababa, directed Addis Hub.
Hi,
Yeah.
Nahum.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Are you able
Hi.
to appear on video if you are not that fine so that we can see you when we see you in Nairobi? Okay, thank you. Hi.
Hello. How you
Yeah,
guys doing?
yeah,
Can you guys hear me?
very well.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So running the director at Addis Ababa Hub was quite an experience. I didn't expect it to be the way it went. The members were able to connect with the community in ways that we didn't expect. Their delivery and well, coming on the spot, like to give us the the requirements that we needed was very uh, enlightening, in my opinion. So the way we went about it was like we had we deployed the orientation call. Like that's after we announced what the hackathon process was going to be like as far as our knowledge base went. And so we had so we had workshops so that they were well acquainted with the technical know-how of building their projects. We hosted Kahoots so that they could so that we had an engaging uh, time with the members, and we also had in between each workshops and Kahoots, we had the regenerative process embedded into each of the weeks that we had coming up to December 6th when we hosted the in-person hackathon. Now, during the process, we had several obstacles, primarily coming from the community to basing the projects based on problems faced by the community and having the feedback loop to creating the feedback loop of getting to the community, having the technical know-how and delivering solutions, not particularly solutions, but understanding the context in which they should build was one of the issues that we faced. Team formation was also another thing. At first, they had the preconception that they could come up with teams that they have already built over the years, and then see if they can see if they could work on problems and have it that way. But during the process, we found that the teams broke, the original teams that were formed were dismantling and rejoining based on the context, the problems that they were interested in, and the technical and contextual information that they had. So It was enlightening for us. Yeah, it was one of the best experiences that I've had with the members. I think that quite summarizes what we had as a hub. If you have any
Yeah,
questions.
I can also add more context here.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess tabs, we've been talking a lot over the past week, so we know each other. But for everyone else, I've sort of been the project manager or execution manager from Directed side for three of the hubs. So we've been working closely with Nahum, Promise, and Emerald across the three different countries. And if you're aware, Directed is well specializes in like training and also education. So we tried to bring some of those elements. So we identified that there weren't enough devs, Cardano devs and artists. Especially there weren't a lot of people that knew Icon. So the workshops were planned based on experience we had from the African Blockchain Championship, a separate hackathon we ran, and we held around 8 workshops, solely focused on technical know-how. So this was on top of the regenerative principles and other content shared by WADA and Prisma. So I guess one challenge was it was a bit overwhelming overall for hackathon participants. Felt a bit full time because there's a lot to learn. There's both on the technical and non-technical side. So keeping them motivated was a bit of a challenge. So the Kahoots were actually sort of a solution to that. So we held Kahoots at the end of every week in December. We had, I think, around 3 or 4 Kahoots, if I'm mistaken. And this is for each hub, across different countries. And we actually had ADA prizes at the end. So this was to just sort of keep them going. And Kahoots is something that we do at Directed before, and our students love it. It builds a sense of community, fun, and play, in an otherwise very serious process where they feel like they have to learn and absorb a lot. So yeah, that's the bit of the context that I wanted to add here. And this was done for both the Addis hub, Kigali hub, and Abuja hub. I'm saying this so I don't have to come back and say it again. Nahom, you can take over. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah, so we had daily sync meetings so that even to connect with WADA, I think 5 people were talking to Sam and Tabs. So from the Addis hub, me, Rani, and Kadus were talking to you. Kadus represents the whole Directed community, but uh, Promise and also Emerald and Ruby was also talking to you. So uh, we were joining each information that we got. So we weren't bothering you as much as everyone's questions were asked through separate channels. So we were very engaged, but you might not have felt it as much. That's another thing I'd like to add. Yeah.
I actually did think you were very organized and coordinated. I was noticing how there would be responses in a very timely manner, even if I only had to tell one person. I was like, wow, there's some real good
Yeah.
sharing of information going on.
Yeah, that was really what I was going to say because always the information will go to Simon, and within the next minute, every response that you have is just coming through. So yeah, Direct Ed is very organized, and that's good. Comments around. That is Nahum, you said your hub is where? Addis Ababa?
Yes, the Ethiopian
Right.
hub.
All right. Any reactions from my evaluators before we switch to the next direct ed hub? Okay.
Sam, before we move on, would it be beneficial if Nahum talked about the teams, the top teams?
Oh yeah, I can actually give you a
Would that
highlight.
information be helpful?
Yeah. Not uh You mean the three teams and what they build on? From
Yes. Yes.
yes. It's helpful to do that. Please do that in the next 3 minutes. So maybe 1 minute for each team.
Each thing. All
Yeah.
right, like I can do that. Like, so we've been tackled with the choosing the teams were very difficult. Like, are like the other hubs, but so the first team we chose was is called ETO Origins. So they're trying to develop a supply chain like transparency for coffee. Now, I'm not sure of how familiar you are with the EU deforestation mandates, suggesting that like any crop that is related to deforestation is going to be kicked out of the European market, which is kicking out Ethiopia from billions of foreign currency, which is a very, very, very huge deal for us because we are specifically like dependent on coffee exports. Now, Ethio Origin is trying to address that by having like by using blockchain to have each block of the supply chain into the on chain, so that they have transparency and like they can successfully verify that they are not associated with deforestation. They have engaged with farmers. They have uh, they have all the communications that they have with the farmers, the corporations that are responsible for exporting the coffee itself. So we have they have they have made too much progress actually. The first choosing the first winner of the hackathon was not that difficult. But the second and the third, so like the reason we chose the second and the third, the second one is addressing like freelancer payments. So whenever like Ethiopia is not connected to the global market in terms of payments, in fact, like our national ID was deployed, I think, a year or two ago. So we don't have financing, we don't have debit cards, we don't have debit cards so that we can have any kind of international payments received or outgoing. So this is more like an escrow kind of project where you like the freelancers here can receive their payments uh, via ADA. So like these guys were able actually they were the most engaged with timelining the timelining bots. That's one of the reasons that we uh, that's one of their unique abilities. They had interviews that are set up like their interviews, their docs, and their community engagement. Like the fact that they sourced the problem from the community was well documented in their timelining bot using their timelining bot, and they were very engaged with the regenerative process. They identified a problem that is meaningful to the community. I personally know people that are very much willing to engage with the solution that they're providing. The third team that we chose is called Induvis. This team is by far the most technically advanced in terms of like having Cardano experience. They already have a product, they have a wallet that is working, but it's not associated with this particular project. On this hackathon, they came up with a DAO, a decentralized organization where uh, people are able to make to resolve disputes based on the community members. Now, this is based on a GADA system, the GADA system that the Oromic region from Ethiopia, consisting of over 30 to 40 million people use socially. So this is very tapped into the community. Several members have engaged in the GADA system where elders are appointed into settling disputes. The system we'll essentially have a voting mechanism where honest votes are going to be rewarded and dishonest votes are going to be punished. The system is very tapped into the community's already established structure, and that is one of their modes. So that's that is what makes them different from most of the projects that we had. We have a summary of what parameters we used. I can actually share my screen.
No,
That's
sorry,
It's
sorry,
okay.
Nahum.
okay.
We are working within a strict time.
Okay,
We have done
perfect,
like 40
perfect.
minutes, just two projects presented, and it's supposed to. So it means that we have
All right.
like maybe there will be another time to share more on these things, but let's give the opportunity to others to also come through and share with us what they have. So,
Awesome, awesome.
Kidus, are you able to introduce the next Direct Ed Hub that is ready
I
to
think
present?
Promise should be ready now. Emerald, I still haven't gotten a response from. I can check with her again, but I think Promise
Yeah,
should be.
I'm ready.
Oh,
Sorry,
Emerald, are you ready?
I might not have seen your messages because I've been here from the beginning, but network has been so bad, it has been kicking me out.
Oh,
So
I
I'm
see.
ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're ready, so this is Samuel, the directed Abuja hub. Emerald, you can take it from here.
Okay.
Amra, before
Hello,
you
everyone.
do, I want to
Okay.
see you. If you can kindly show your face so that if I see you in Nairobi, then I'm able to say, hey, this is Amra. And I walk to you
Okay.
and I don't ask questions.
Okay. Let me try to do that because there's a power outage. But let's see what
All
can be
right.
done.
You are in Abuja, right?
Yes, I am in Abuja.
How is NEPA doing?
Oh, so you know NEPA?
Yes.
It's been bad. It's been affecting our network and everything. It's just
Sorry
been
about
something.
that.
Let me try and
Or maybe
see
while
how
you
that
try to come
goes.
on video, can Promise take over and you come later? Okay,
Okay.
you are here already, so let's
Let's
go.
do.
Yeah, Emerald is
Yeah.
ready. She can go and I can go after. I'm good.
Okay. All right. So, hello everyone. Good evening, everyone. It's evening here in Abuja, and it's really nice to meet you guys. So for the Abuja Directed Hub, like Naho mentioned, we work closely with each other. Sure Tabs has seen some of my messages. One unique thing about working with the hub was the fact that most of us that were running the program were three girls, three women, so age 18 to 22. It was pretty interesting given the demographics and, women in technology in Nigeria and how that was able to go. But it was really interesting to see how we were able to change the narrative of that while we were going through the program and just working with people from different places. So one unique thing about Abuja is that Abuja is in the north central, so meaning that many of the northern states that are charged with insecurities, Abuja is like, a very central location for all of them. So it was really interesting, especially for the in-person hackathon, seeing students who were in school having to travel all the way to Abuja to be able to participate for the in-person hackathon, them sorting out, their hotel. It was just really interesting to see how much enthusiasm and resilience that they had within them because it was not really easy. Many of them were students. They were going up and down with tight lectures. They were writing exams. Many of them were also workers. So it was really hard for them to, continue to keep the pace and the momentum. And like Nahum and Kidus mentioned, one thing that was really, really great was the fact that we had the Kahoot programs. We had daily syncs with our hubs. So we always ask them how are they doing, what's going on, coupled with the fact that we had workshops where they felt free to be able to ask questions. In Abuja, basically, we have a lack of Cardano devs, but it was really interesting to see the project that they came up with. And many people, this is their first time they've been introduced to blockchain actually and the ICANN framework. So it was really interesting to see how much effort they put into learning, showing up for these classes. I know many of them that were showing up on these classes from, you know, commuting back from work. I know many of them that were doing all of these, after a hard day of lectures from school. So it was just a really nice way to see the spirit of resilience and seeing the principality of technology and what technology can really do in bringing people together for a common cause and for a cause for good, actually based on the principles of WADA and how it was about solving problems that really mattered to them. They were able to think, they were able to work together. And in fact, many of the teammates, they never saw each other because they stayed in different places apart from Abuja. So many of them were basically communicating online, although many of them, a good number of them could not make it for the in-person hackathon, but it was really nice to see how they were able to, still hop on the Google Meet while some of them were at the physical location and really get to dig in. In fact, we had a very interesting experience because one of the people who came for the hackathon, he had an accident 3 days prior. And I was so surprised to see him all the way from Kaduna, 2 hours away. He traveled and he brought his brother with him, who was his caregiver with his crutches. And that just goes to show you the testament of what yes, although we're talking about solving problems, but it just goes to show you the resilience of people and what this means to them. So it's more than just winning prizes, it's the community, it's the fact that they get to come together to work together. So it was really interesting to see all of that. Although the documentation process was another thing. It was really, really hard, coupled with the fact that, as a 22-year-old and a recent graduate, it was really hard for me to try to manage all of that. Because in Nigeria, we have what we call the NYSC, so the National Youth Corps. So after you go to college or university, you have to serve your country for a year. So it was really hard because they could pull you for any assignment at any time and you could not say no. So it was really difficult being just managing all of that. But one thing I would say also is that for direct head up, really work together.
Emerald line is dropped.
Yeah, I think we lost her. Internet hasn't been the best.
That everybody had each other back and we're trying to help
Oh,
the
she's
process.
back.
Promise. I was like, please, I need your assistance. Hello. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
you are lost by found. So go ahead.
I have to turn off my video. The network is really bad. Well, please. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
And maybe you might want to switch your energy to talking specifically about the teams and what projects they built
Yes, I was
and
just
high
going there.
level how you made the top three decisions.
Yes. So for the top three decisions, again, it goes to how Direct Ed were working together because what we decided to do was to come up with a rubric so that we ensure that there is a very consistent way of selecting teams all through. So we came up with a rubric and we identified key areas according to the principle of the hackathon. And then we started to work with that across the different hubs in the country.
We lost her again, guys.
Yes. I don't know if she's coming back, but to complete that thought, so what we did was based on the last call that we had with you guys. Unfortunately, none of us were able to make it live, but we went through the recording and gathered some of the points that were discussed there, things to consider. And we had a collective call across all the different hubs to come up with
top three teams send ways.
Meaning she was actually talking.
Yeah, she was talking. I don't even think she can hear us because of the internet. But yeah, we came up with a single rubric, so that was what they used to actually evaluate everyone. So this is to ensure consistency and fairness in grading. So that was what was used. If it's of interest, we can also share the rubric document with you. When it comes to submissions as well, we basically converted the content that was on the docs that was shared by you guys into actionable guidelines. You can find it in our hub docs actually. And we divided the submissions. We have multiple phases. So there's phase one and phase two, where they actually submit their problem statements and whatnot in the beginning, their community essence maps and everything. And in the second half, they actually send us a demo, a pitch. I think almost all teams that have made the submissions have submitted something that's actually, that can be demoed and that could actually be tested. And all of this was put up on the docs by the hub leads for transparency as well. So that is what we used in evaluating them. And that's how we arrived at the top 3 teams across the hubs. It would have been great if Emerald was here to specifically talk about the top 3 projects themselves, because she worked with them more closely than me.
Okay.
Emerald, can you do
Am I
like
coming?
30 seconds?
Okay. I'm so sorry, everyone. So for the first, we had Send Waste, which they were doing a project relating to the environment, and what they were doing basically was you have somebody who collects waste and is able to be rewarded for the system, because we humans, we love rewards. We work in a very reward oriented system, and currently in Nigeria the government is trying to do like a cleanup and encouraging people to recycle. So this was just the way to use tokenization and the Cardano framework for justification to basically reward those people who are conscious about the environment. Then for Medisure, it was the health tech solution. So Nigeria has a very large pharmaceutical market and is one of Africa's biggest. So what we realize is that in the pharmaceutical market there are lots of fake anti-malarial drugs or medication that is there. So basically what Medisure solved was ensuring that people can be able to verify the medication that they use. So there was a system before in Nigeria with a scratch code I can use to verify. But again, Nigeria is very unfortunately paramount for the 419 and the Yahoos, and they have already, look through the system. But one good thing about blockchain is that it's a very end-to-end secure system. So we're thinking, so they use the ICANN framework to validate drug authenticity, but especially when it comes to pediatrics and children. And for the last one, 025, the problem of registered vehicle and functional traffic officers. So what you basically wanted to solve was to ensure that there was roadworthiness on the part of people who were trying to use the roads with vehicles, cars, and transportation. So they ensured that there was vehicle compliance and roadworthiness, because a lot of accidents, 70% of accidents that happen in Abuja alone are a result of, cars that are not roadworthy and people naturally following the system. So they were able to use Cardano framework to be able to ensure that there was a transparent enforcement and transparent roadworthiness system that people can actually follow to ensure that the roads are safer and people in general are safe. So this was just a brief summary of the top 3 projects that were submitted.
Thank you, Emirate. I'm also looking at the time and it looks like we are not able to do this in the 10-minute interval, and I'm afraid we might extend the call, extend the time or something. But let's see what we can do with the rest of the hubs. Let's give some context again. Please, let's be straightforward with the top 3 teams and how you got them selected and which exact projects that they presented. I think that will do us great time to manage whatever time we have. Tabs, what do you think before we go to the next?
Yeah, I wish there was more time
Yeah,
because I think hearing from the hub's organizing process as well is really interesting, and
yeah.
hearing their perspectives of what surprised them and things like that. It's been really fun listening along. But yeah, I think for the purpose of the call for the evaluators to get to meet or get to know the teams a bit more directly, let's make sure that we at least include that in the overall 10 minutes. But if there's really important things that you'd like to share from your hub perspective as well, then obviously please do.
All right. Promise, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
First of all,
sorry now.
which hub do you represent, and you take it over?
Okay, so my hub, or the hub I'm representing, is the Direct ED Umrava hub, and I'm sorry for not putting the video because we are facing a power cut, sudden power cuts. They are coming like regularly, so I'm sorry. But if it comes, I make sure to put my video on. And yes, so Murava were established before, and we're a team of 30 people. So we are like a talent, platform. So we made a partnership with DirectED to run this hackathon. And apart from what Emerald shared as well as Kidus, so we're really amazed by the implementation and also by the documentation set by Prisma as well as WADA. So we're really impressed, and the steps were very detailed, and it also helped in the implementation process. But also conducted the weekly calls with Emerald as well as Nahom, so to make sure that we are aligning on the things, and also to make sure that we are trying our best to make sure that the participants receive the best experience. And so far, the challenges we met was to not find like specialized developers, Cardano developers, but we appreciated the approach made by Kidus. They shared with us another set of people who could help. They attended the previous event of blockchain, but because blockchain technology as well as cryptocurrency is currently evolving in Rwanda, so it was really hard to find those many people who are specialized in Cardano development. And so we made sure that at least we are using our efforts, and in doing that, we proposed bringing a mentor, and the mentor was there in an in-person hackathon. So the mentor was circulating in teams. So the teams were saying, so we have this issue, like we don't know where we're building this on Cardano. So the mentor provided like perspectives as well as the guidelines that we have to base on to make sure that their project is well grounded on Cardano. And also the other good thing that was done, it was these weekly Kahoots. So the participants were really appreciating this weekly Kahoots. But not only it was like a rewarding experience, but it was also an enriching experience. Like, so there were those questions. They were like, someone could maybe not know something, and by that question they could see the response to that. They could, like, it's like gaining a new experience, but also a rewarding experience. And the other thing as well I could share, it was I'm trying to maximize my 10 minutes, so I also immediately shift to the top three teams. So our top three teams, it was really hard to get them. And but surprisingly, we had like three teams doing the same thing, but it was different in how they're proposing its implementation. And to get their selection, I proposed an idea personally, so that I would try to approach my team and show them each team's documentation. And then so each team member had to pick or had to select his or her top three depending on the documentation that they set. So if anyone needed any further information, they could maybe tell me, so what is it about by this team, like what are they doing, so how are they collaborating. I could provide further insight. But I tried to not be biased myself, because I know the teams I could be having like a preference, and it could be not the right team. So I made sure that I'm maximizing the transparency and make sure that each team we be chosen, and also in a deserved way, I could say. So that's like an overall. And of how we have selected the teams. And so the first two teams, they did this project around community savings. So in Rwanda, we are facing a really big challenge in the community savings groups, which is also causing disputes among the people, because they don't have, like, I could say a way of recording their contributions in the community savings. And mostly you find that the leaders, they are trying to get away with the money that the team members have contributed. So we have found that three teams have done on that project, but it was different in a way. One team was proposing also they got that idea, by the way, from the mentor. So they were in the in-person hackathon, they were presenting, and then we asked, so how are these people? Because mostly they are like, I can call them raw level citizens, and most of them, they don't have like this Android phones, like touch phones. So how are you going to make sure that those people who don't have like these Android phones or even iPhones, they get access to this, also to these community saving groups? And they proposed the idea of also imposing some USSD option, in which a team member, without having an Android phone or even those smartphones, they can contribute to the whole saving group, so that it also their transactions are recorded. But also the other team. So what made it different with the other team? The other team was also proposing a new way of giving loans, or even giving other things, in which it could be like an enriching experience, like someone who joins that community saving group would also benefit in a way in terms of loans, and also advances. Like that's also a big challenge in which community savings groups of people they are facing. But also the other thing idea I like about that is that one project was done by really, I could call them students, and I like the fact that those students are asked the permission of by the school to go in the community and then collect the issues that the communities are facing. Like I like that approach. And the other team was also solving this was brought the idea of borderless payments, like cross-region payments, in which it could be easy for someone who is in Rwanda to send payments to someone who is in East Africa, like Burundi, in Congo, in Niger, no, not Nigeria, sorry, in Kenya or even Uganda. So that's about their project. And they also came up with a new idea of doing those payments in form of crypto. So because crypto is not, I could say it's not well legalized here in Rwanda. So, but they are developing like legal aspects, in which, because Rwanda is now developing, so they are developing different like frameworks in which this cryptocurrency could be like the next driving economy here in Rwanda. So that was also their project, but it was a really good project, and I like the fact that also they got into the community and then talked to people. Like they talked to one person who made like most I could say most most travels in East Africa, but the person couldn't like find a better way to pay people, like to pay the hotel upfront, not like using the bank account, but also a very easy way in which the hotel could get like the money faster, as well as make some appointments faster without the delay of the banks. Yeah.
Sorry, thank you, Promise. It's actually, I would have myself, I could ask some questions to clarify some of this beautiful stuff that I'm hearing, but unfortunately, we don't have time. Maybe we should have done this over two sessions where we can get really more time to explore the stories as they unfold. But maybe another time when we meet in Nairobi, we can be able to talk more about these things in terms of your experiences and how you could hear. Thank you, Promise. Quickly, let's switch to the next hub, which is ready. Boaz, are your team ready now?
Yeah, we are ready for the moment.
And since you want each,
So, I'm Boaz from. Okay, go on, please.
hello, Boaz. I was saying, since you want each team to make the presentation, please, let's respect the time. Let each team do 3 minutes approximately, and you have 1 minute to introduce them. Boaz, can you hear me now?
Okay, thanks. That helps. Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you. I couldn't hear all that Samuel was saying, and I can see we don't have enough time. So I will be letting the all three top teams from Goma try to talk a little bit about their projects. Then maybe if we have a little bit minutes and try to share the experience from the Democratic Republic of Congo. I can see here we have Rit Bahizi. You can give a resume of your project, Mukulima Chain. Then will be followed by Martin, and maybe I'll read the summary of Didier from Proof Chain, because it seems like he doesn't have enough time for the moment. Rit, we can go with you, please.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Hi, Ruth, are you talking?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I hope you're doing well.
You hope what?
Doing well.
Uh,
We're doing
yeah,
well.
Yeah, we're doing well. We are doing well. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, please go ahead with your presentation.
So I have a question before starting my presentation. I would like to know if I can speak in French, or is it an obligation to speak in English?
I
Uh,
think
if
I
if you
think
are
in
comfortable with
French.
French, go ahead. When
Yeah.
you finish, Tab will translate or you say it to English. So go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So as I said, as you know it already, my name is Ruth Wizabaizi, and I live in DRC in Goma. So we are the team Mugulima Chain, and uh, I
You
think
you
better if
may
I speak
you
in
may do it in French. Yeah.
yeah. Ok. Alors, je disais ceci. Hum, Notre solution, Mugulima Chain, est venue répondre à des problèmes qu'on a rencontrés dans notre région, la République démocratique du Congo. Euh, Comme vous le savez, la République démocratique du Congo est un pays avec un très grand potentiel des terres arables, mais malheureusement inexploitées. Alors, dans ce sens-là, on a essayé quand même de faire des recherches avec quelques agriculteurs, mais aussi avec on a aussi essayé d'interroger des coopératives pour vraiment comprendre les problèmes et essayer d'adapter notre solution à ces problèmes-là, des problèmes réels. Alors, on a aussi constaté une chose, les femmes, surtout les femmes, sont vraiment très, très présentes dans ces secteurs-là. Alors, on s'est dit que c'était vraiment une très bonne idée de développer cette solution parce que ça va quand même nous aider, mais aussi ça va impacter sur l'émancipation, mais aussi l'évolution des femmes congolaises, mais aussi des femmes africaines. Alors, dans ce sens-là, on a essayé, on a travaillé ensemble avec mon équipe, on est composé de moi et cinq développeurs, voilà, cinq ingénieurs. On a essayé de travailler sur notre projet Mugli Machen malgré les défis, les difficultés, les problèmes. Euh, Mugli Machen est une plateforme qui est surtout composée d'une partie web pour les agriculteurs, une partie mobile pour les agriculteurs et les acheteurs. Mais lors de nos enquêtes, on a remarqué que la plupart des agriculteurs, ils n'ont pas accès à la connexion Internet parce qu'ils vivent dans des milieux reculés. Alors, on s'était dit que ça serait bien de, d'intégrer la partie USSD. Donc, pour ceux qui n'ont pas de smartphones, ils peuvent accéder à notre app sans problème. Et ça a été un plaisir pour moi de découvrir la technologie blockchain Cardano parce que avant d'intégrer la team, j'étais pas vraiment, j'étais pas vraiment informée. Mais avec cette équipe quand même assez dévouée que j'ai rencontrée, on a eu à apprendre, à discuter, mais aussi à améliorer notre niveau. Alors, notre solution, elle va nous permettre, mais aussi permettre la société congolaise à améliorer les revenus, les revenus agricoles annuels parce que la RDC importe plus des produits agricoles étrangers au lieu de consommer ce qui est local. Mais aussi, à part ça, si les niveaux financiers des agriculteurs évoluent, ça va permettre à leurs enfants d'aller aussi à l'école, à avoir accès à l'éducation. Ça va aussi permettre aux femmes congolaises aussi voilà, d'avoir avoir accès à des opportunités, pourquoi pas aussi avoir des ambitions et accomplir euh, les rêves. Alors, à part ça aussi, cette solution va permettre aux agriculteurs d'accéder aux marchés mondiaux, pourquoi pas aussi de, de, de- donc transporter leurs produits de leurs champs vers les villes locaux, les grands marchés, où ils peuvent quand même vendre à des prix un peu élevés et ça va leur permettre d'évoluer financièrement, mais aussi évoluer dans la vie quotidienne. Alors, on pensait aussi, après le lancement de Mukudi Chain, intégrer un système de sensibilisation, surtout dans les villes, parce que avec l'urbanisation aujourd'hui dans notre pays, on voit ces problèmes-là. Au fait, les gens, ils coupent les bois. Pourtant, aujourd'hui, le monde traverse une crise de réchauffement climatique. Alors nous, on s'est dit, c'est une opportunité pour nous parce qu'on est déjà dans les milieux, euh, voilà, les milieux agricoles. On va lancer une campagne pour sensibiliser les gens autour de l'importance de la préservation de notre nature et les sensibiliser aussi sur l'effet de planter des bois, même un seul arbre dans votre parcelle, pourquoi pas dans nos riz, parce que ça va nous permettre d'avoir un air donc nous permettre de diminuer sur l'émission des gaz avec la circulation routière. Et puis, ça va aussi améliorer, je pense, on va avoir un air un peu qui est quand même plus, plus sain. Voilà. Alors, si vous avez des questions, si vous avez des suggestions ou je ne sais pas, vous êtes les bienvenus, je vous écoute. Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
I only understand mercy, meaning thanks, you are finished, right? Okay. And I learned this was just a presentation of your team. Martin, are you able to present the rest of the teams and maybe high level what Ruth said? We are really hard pressed for time, and please do this as fast as you can so that the other hubs can also get the opportunity. It breaks my heart we are not able to go full scale with this, but looks like that's what we have to do. Martin, can you hear me?
Okay, I don't know if Martin hears connection issue. Maybe I can follow up with the summary for Mukula. Then I'll be following up with other proposals. So Rita was saying that Mukulima chain is a blockchain-powered agriculture infrastructure designed to transform the agricultural value chain in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So Mukulima is from Swahili, meaning farmer, that goes beyond a traditional agricultural marketplace by providing a decentralized ecosystem built on the Cardano blockchain. So the following project, I don't know if there are some questions for here, because I would like to continue with other proposals for the moment. If there are
Please
some
go ahead with the
questions,
other
I can try.
proposals. Boys, go ahead with the other
Right.
proposals.
Nice. The following is Wenze. So Wenze also is a community-driven digital marketplace initiative developed in Goma, in DRC, that is designed to address trust and transparency challenges in local commerce. Inspired by everyday trading practices and named after the Lingala word for markets, Wenze aims to structure and secure informal and semi-formal commercial exchanges that increasingly take place through social media and messaging platforms. So by integrating a blockchain-based escrow mechanism built on Cardano, Wenze ensures that payments are protected until agreed conditions are met. So reducing fraud and transactional disputes. The project combines local practices such as price negotiation with modern technologies, offering a mobile first, inclusive and scalable solution that strengthens economic resilience and promotes responsible adoption of blockchain technology within the local community. That's about Wednesday, the second project. And the last one is called Proof Chain. This is a blockchain-based digital infrastructure designed to address the persistent challenges of document frauds, like also loss and verification in the city of Goma. By leveraging the Cardano blockchain, Proof Chain enables institutions to securely register, authenticate, and verify official documents such as academic diplomas, certificates, professional attestations, and land titles. On them, we can add the administrative records. So each document is anchored on chain through a cryptographic proof, making it tamper-proof and permanently verifiable. while the original files are stored securely on off-chain, of course. So proof chain responds to a critical local need by restoring trust in documentation process, accelerating verification for employers and institutions, and modernizing document management in a context where paper-based systems remain vulnerable and inefficient. So these are our free projects that were selected to the top in the GOMA, although we had 8 proposals. So in summing up, we had Mukulima chain, Proof chain, and Wenze. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if I have to share a little bit again about the experience or that's enough. Thank you.
Thank you, boss. Taps, you have anything to say? You want to translate the French? Or what do you want to do before we invite next chain? Next chain, are you around?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, please, you may all go ahead and share with us your the situation you have. Please talk about your 3 teams, how you got them selected, and exactly the projects that they presented, and any other relevant information you want us to hear. Please do that in the next 10 minutes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Kasu Abarra. I'm from Next Chain Hub, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Luckily, we have a Web3 summit the past 3 months. And at that summit, we have been onboarding a lot of new developers and some beginner developers at that program. So when we start this hackathon, like it was not hard to get a developers. So we shared them this opportunity because the past we already tell them about blockchain, the benefits, and how can they engage themselves with this new technology. So this was a good opportunity for our developers. So the next we did was on that hackathon, there was some teams formed. So most of the teams are already working for the past months. So it was not hard to get the teams. And when we start the hackathon, we mainly focus on the problems, not on the technical sides. We told them from the beginning. So actually, the 3 projects we selected them was actually uh, like who have the unique idea because most of them actually like uh, uh, help them to not work on just like a competition, like to work on solving a big problem, like solving a problem for our community by using blockchain. So we engage them to work on the problems mainly. So the first project was Great African Run. It's more focuses on athletes. In Ethiopia, there are a lot of athletes in the global stage and in a local stage, but it's the system is so traditional. So this team was doing a great job by making interview with athletes, with event organizers who work with some running events. So the main idea of this project was to have a blockchain based infrastructure that uses for registrations, results, and all data of an athletes. Most of Ethiopian athletes are come from local areas, so it's more about working with the managers to engage them with this blockchain-based system, so athletes can have a verified profile, a verified results, and so much. So the second idea was called CRAR. This idea was also works on artists and content creators. In Africa, is content creative economy is so growing, so we have a lot of potential, but we're still not using this potential. So this team uh, did a great job making interviews with artists, artists means like in a lot of fields like music, films, books, and a lot of stuff. So what they did is like it's a blockchain based platform that support content creators to make, like if they have music, to make their music on a blockchain in CRA. And actually the good thing is this team is was so fast, and they already have a good prototype, and also they work also a Cardano based token. So this is also a great idea. And luckily, with this process, we have partnered with Cardano Academy in Ethiopia. They have a resource that are a blockchain learning resource that made in our language Amharic. So it was a great to like to give them these lessons in Amharic that work on Cardano blockchain. Also, as they are using our hub in person, we got a good time to work with the teams. So the second idea is work for content creators, is called CRAR. And the third idea is Mulucard. It's most focused on like digital identity. The good thing is the team have already like some NFC cards. So what they are doing is to use this NFC card by blockchain. So it can be used on a lot of users, like on like IDs, and also on a payment and on a lot of stuff. In Ethiopia, like it's good because we have already adopting the national digital ID. So a lot of organizations actually gonna adopt this NFC cards, but these NFC cards have to be on a blockchain to have a trusted and verified data. So these are the three teams that stand out in our hub. We have a good teams that already work on this hackathon, but we mainly focus on like how like work on the problems, and also like did they start the technical stuff, and also they did some pitch on the hackathon days. So we also add on the evaluation of the pitches, and the journey was so amazing and great. So like we hope we have the best teams that represent our hub on the problem side, on technical stuff. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next chain. Samuel, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Taps.
Which will be the next hub to present?
I see memos from Quantech Hub in Cameroon. Memos, can you hear me?
Sure thing, I can hear you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. This is Memos from Quantech Hub Cameroon. And for our hub, the experience was rather challenging, I would say, extra challenging, because the hackathon was starting in a period during which we had our elections. And during these election times, after the election, there was some contestation of the elections and a lot of civil unrest for some time. So we actually had to go and look for Nganga, a medium, a seer, to tell us which day we could organize the in-person event, because in the midst of all of what was happening, we needed a little bit of certainty. That's just a side joke. For what was happening is that here in our local context, we are in Chang, and it's a university city. There are plenty of students here. So the idea of hosting the hackathon was mainly to give an opportunity to these young students to actually have a new approach in the like of all of what we've learned from Christmas all over this during this hackathon. which has been quite enlightening for most of them. So also coupling that with the fact that we have institutions, we have a lot of cultural institutions here, it gave us the opportunity to actually bring some of the local wisdom, indigenous wisdom to the youth that we try to train in a way to look at things with new eyes, with new lenses, and see solutions where usually they will see problems. And that was quite. We had a really good feedback after the initial sessions, and for some time we had a lot of traction. But afterwards, due to all of what was happening in the country, they got discouraged, but then somehow they got back on track afterwards. So we had during our first meeting, in-person meeting, we discussed about the context, the local context, so that we could all have the same kind of view on reality, the reality that we are living in, because that's something. Oftentimes we think that we see the same things when people have realities that are different according to the scenarios and situations and experiences that they're having. So a kind of formulating a shared experience of how we live our country and the situations that we are facing every day. And that was the guidelines that we'll be using, that we used to formalize the project. So each time someone will come up with an idea of a project, we'll challenge that project according to that context that we fixed ourselves together during that first meeting. And through that, we selected 8 projects, and we had teams of 5 to 6 people, and they started working on the projects, going around, asking questions to people, and we reconvene every twice a week, to discuss on how to formalize those things and how to make those projects better until we reach some versions of what could actually be considered to be sound projects. So we had 8 teams and we're all working together. Everybody was contributing, even in the groups that they were not in. So it was some kind of collaborative effort. That was also something that we really wanted to impart on those on this, mostly on the students, because we had other people that were not students, obviously. We had artists that were also part of the group. We had some entrepreneurs that were also part of the group, and it was a really good experience. We even had some motor taxi drivers that in Africa we know as Okadas, that were also part of the adventure. We had one project that was called Moto Digo, that was also coming from that encounter with them. The 3 projects that are first on the selection process, we decided on having the members and participants of the hackathon deciding for 30% of the evaluation, and then we had some local external evaluators that were not part of the entire process, but we gave them the overview of the context and the criteria that we wanted them to evaluate on. And I think it was on our 10th encounter, we had the actual event, the main event, and every group made a pitch of their project in front of the whole crowd and in front of the evaluators, and they gave their perception of the projects that they wanted to see. And then we did a gross of it, and we got 3 projects. The third one is called VetQuest. It's an app that is a gaming app that is centered around culture, to give the youth a sense of the artifacts and the memory, the history, and the indigenous wisdom that is permeating the city, but of which you have no knowledge of, because everything online or everything around the digital world is to celebrate other people's culture. Here we have a lot of even otakus, people that are very keen on Japanese culture, but we lack local games and stuff like that. So they had an idea of creating a game around virtual reality that is centered around museum. Because during most of the encounters that we had happened at the Museum of Chang, and so it was from that very place where we were hosted that came this idea of thinking about a game that could showcase all of the artifacts that were standing there but of which people have no idea of. So essentially the idea of that game is to you get to in the museum you can scan and it's like a quest. It will give you some queries you have to answer, and once you answer those questions you can unlock an NFT or things like that around culture. So the gross idea of the third project is that. The second project is around documentation. I think it's the similar to what Boaz was explaining earlier. It's to create more trust in official documents especially coming from universities and schools. So they were thinking about a solution for QR codes on official documents. Yeah, that's essentially the second project. And the first, the winner of the hackathon was a project around loincloths, textile design. In Africa, in general, I can speak in general because I have quite some knowledge about that. In general, the patterns and symbols on textile are usually reminiscent of some old writing systems that have been forgotten. So people wear these fabrics all the time, but they don't know the meaning of the symbols that they are wearing, and they don't even sometimes they wear let's say a wedding kind of garment according to the symbolism on the garment to go to funerals because they lost the meaning. The meaning of the symbolism is lost. So they thought about an app that you could use to scan the fabric and have a better understanding on the symbolism, on where those symbols are coming from, which writing systems, what they mean, and so on, to keep alive the memory of the ancient African writing systems and bring them back to some kind of everyday use, in a sense. So, in a summary, that was the project that got the most attention of the crowd, as well as the evaluators, external evaluators that we had. So yeah, as an overall experience, it was a great experience. Especially very challenging in terms of technically for me, since I haven't been doing. I'm an engineer, but I haven't been in that world for quite a long time. So mostly interested in questions of heritage and indigenous wisdom and stuff like that. So for me, it was kind of bringing me back to this reality, and yeah, it was really interesting on that regard, and also sharing some of the knowledge that I've personally been accumulating with these youth to give them a sense of creating products that are in alignment with our own context, our local reality, but also specifically our culture. So yeah, that was for Quantech. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Memos. Yeah, we don't really have time to make more reactions to the back-to-back presentations, but trust our evaluators are here and they are listening in, and maybe after that they'll give a general overview or general reaction to what has been presented. So yes, quickly let's move to Solomon, who is representing uh northern part of Ghana, specifically in Tamale, with NordBit Solutions Hub. Solomon, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I was almost losing my voice because of the change in weather and cold. in the northern region. Thank you for the opportunity. Tamale Novbet, once given the opportunity to participate in this hackathon, brought a lot of changes in our lifestyle and how we do things. And I realized that many of our people were much interested because these were real on the ground problems we tried identifying. So I think at the beginning, what we did was we came together, we had our first meetups, and then there was an introduction into the whole hackathon, and everything that it entails. Then after that, we had an online meeting, and then I can confidently say that there were a lot of enthusiastic, members who really wanted to be part of this. Even after registering, you will see people contacting me to say, can we still register? Can we still register? We held them on up till now, and they keep asking. And so that is to tell you how much, the northern part of Ghana wants to embrace such an opportunity. So from there, we broke ourselves into a group of 8 teams, of a team of about 5 to 6, where we briefed ourselves of the canvas, looking at the ground truths, the hypothesis, and all these things that matters when it comes to real life situations. And I must say that Northern Region and Tamale is an area where we have a lot of multicultural coming to play, a lot of areas that needs a lot of solutions. When you come to agriculture, we do agriculture, and so there are a lot of areas in agri that we need solutions. You come to education, there's a bit of low level education there, medium scale. Then you come to, other aspects. So there were a lot of areas that we could get topics on, and we had a lot of good topics anyway, or good project areas to be able to, come up with. But amongst the 8, it was quite tough trying to get the 3 out of the 8, because in the beginning, what we did was that we had everybody showcase their project, and then we allowed the participants at the background to make their judgment based on that. And everybody almost said everybody had a good topic, so they didn't know what to do. So we said, okay, we have to go through the next step again. So what I did was that as a hub lead, I had to consult some other local, experts, more of blockchain, and then, who have been in the area of projects. And so I invited them to come, and then they participated. And we used the criteria of impact, feasibility, and then sustainability. Even with that, I confidently say that the judge didn't find it easy getting the 3 topics. But however, as it stands, we needed to get a 3 out of the 8. So based on that, we use the 3 criteria of impact, feasibility, and then the sustainability to come out with the 3 topics. The 3 winners who participated in. And for us, the first winner topic was more of land governance. In northern region, like I said, it's a multicultural, area where if you look at land allocation and buying of land, it's supposed to be managed by lands commission, with the consent of chiefs or the local indigenes. But most often, because we don't have a full record system, we heavily rely on the chiefs, their secretaries, and all those who are involved in selling of lands. And so when that happens, you realize that family heads, communities, and then other people who rely on these ones are not able to get the legitimate land allocation or the papers that they want. So the chiefs and the secretary maps a copy of the lands. Allocation letters are handwritten, printed in templates, which is prone to forgery. Then chief secretary store records on filing cabinets. These ones can get missing, and then buyers walk away with loose documents that they cannot even trace, or even duplicated documents. So as a result of that, you see that same plots can be sold to 1 or 2, 3 persons. And as I am talking, as a hub lead, I have a situation like that myself. I lost a plot of land because of such situation where somebody I knew, sold the land to me, then that land was again sold to another person. So this is a common ground problem that in the northern region we are facing. So you realize that over 70% of lands are never registered in the lands commissions, and we have a lot of disputes, arising, going to chieftaincy, family conflict, and a whole lot of tensions. So what we did was that, what the solution we're trying to provide is that we're saying that when we have a blockchain, community land registry and verification platform designed specifically for traditional land governance systems, such that each land parcel is digitized, represented, as a unique NFT-like asset. And these assets could be, GPS coordinates, site plans, allocation details, ownership histories, and then other things. So that is briefly about the first winner who won the hackathon. The lands. And I think that it's a very critical area that we need to look at. Yes, and if we have such a system developed and deployed, it means that if I'm coming to purchase a land, and then I can have a verification system to verify if this land is already picked up or not. It tells me, and if it does, I don't have to go back to pay monies. I just go back, look for a different land, do another verification. If it's free, then I now go ahead with the payment and the registrations. So that was what we did. And then the second one has to do with the blockchain certificate verification. So in the community where, education began to come up, verification had normally been a challenge. And the reason being that we have a lot of traditional methods, which has a lot of time consumptions, and such as contacting institutions to confirm authenticity by phone call, or you have to drive all the way from, where you are to the institution to verify this authenticity, and these systems are highly susceptible to fraud, and then you can have a lot of falsified, or replicated certificates created and given, and a lot of them could be tempered. I'm imagining an institution like Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, which is a credible university in Ghana, and we have University for Development Studies, which is in Tamale, and a result of such a credible institution can be falsified or tempered with, these can be sent even international, and if detected, it becomes, more of a different issue altogether for the region and even for the nation as a whole. So we are looking at manual verification and then centralized database. And so we are saying that a blockchain, that can introduce a decentralized approach to certificate verification, that transform trust models in credential management by anchoring certificate hashes on a blockchain and storing the actual certificates on the data, on the IPFS, which ensures immutability, transparency, and then global accessibility. So this is the second project developed by one of the teams, and which was also very critical for us. And then that and that group, the second position. Then the third one, who also came based on the judgment, was about hatchery. Hatchery has to do with local farm, poultry farm, where in Tamale, there are a lot of hatcheries who really rely on manual paper-based records, for egg hatching, incubation timelines, fertility rates, and then chicks delivery. Now, these records are usually incomplete, or rather maybe inconsistent, or sometimes they can be misplaced. So because of this, farmers would normally regularly complain that they cannot verify the true source or the age of some chicks you need to buy, and hatcheries themselves struggle to track productivity. Sometimes they lose the trend, and which leads to waste or either low profit margins. So across multiple hatcheries, we visited a lot of some areas, in Tamale, and then we realized that records were handwritten, data are prone to errors because these are actually indigenous people who normally cannot even write. Even if they can, they don't take it that serious. but it becomes a problem because the buyers are unable to, utilize whatever they buy based on wrong or unverified, data. Then farmers begin to lack trust in the farmers, especially if you have a middleman who must go to do that for you if you're unavailable. So those were the problems they identified. And then yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. I thought I was, losing so because of my network. Yeah. So those are the three critical projects. And but like I'm saying, there were more, on the ground projects that even if you give us the opportunity to give you 10, there were more that could be given, drawn from the ground, which were very more serious and that needs critical attention. But out of the 8, these were the 3 that we thought could be able to emerge its way into the hackathon and be able to get an opportunity to come back for a critical solution. So in all, the hackathon for us has been a great privilege and an opportunity for us. And then I must say that Tamale Novit, we are ever ready and we are coming there. And then we know that this project would emerge into winning, and we can come back to be able to have solutions to our people who haven't gone to the ground, meet the people, meet the chiefs, meet the local people. I am very sure that they are hoping that we will come back again and tell them that based on this, we have this and we are able to offer this to you for a solution. Yeah. So practically, this is where we are. And then, yeah. Thank you.
Interesting. Really interesting. Have you nodding your head? You have anything to say?
I'm just appreciating how different all of these projects are, which is so wonderful, and um, I'm so glad that that is the case. And I think that comes from the fact that people really have walked their neighborhoods and engaged in that particular exercise to learn about um, what they want to build on and identify for themselves their own quote unquote problem statements, even though we're encouraging a lot of the time to work in terms of potential first. Um, so I'm curious to ask a question at the end to hear a reflection on that from the hub leads in particular. Um, if if there's anything that they're noticing as well that they'd like to share. But I don't know if we have any more hubs, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
hand
yeah,
to
we
you.
have we have like 3 or 4 hubs to go, and unfortunately, we have just 7 minutes to the top of the hour, the time that we scheduled. Maybe it's getting interesting, so people can have bear with us so that we can go beyond. At this point, I'd like to switch over to Herring, who is representing from Nairobi, the host city. Tash, you want to say something?
I do, yeah. Sorry to disrupt this further, but just to break this up a little bit before we have the last 3 hubs, maybe I will invite the evaluators to share a quick reflection if they'd like to, recognizing that we still need to finish with 3 more hubs. So this isn't kind of like a full reflection, just a little interlude if you want to chip in with a quick 20, 30 seconds max before we go to the last 3 hubs.
Okay, we can use like two,
Thank
three
you,
minutes.
Taps. I think that a lot of these projects need so much more attention than just to hear a quick one, because I hear some amazing ideas that can apply to the ground. So I'm looking forward to following through the whole process and hearing more about them.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Clement.
I'll jump in as well. Samuel and Tap, you guys are doing an amazing job. It's been a while since I've connected with WADA, but to hear the variety here with the projects and the potential for the groups, it's really amazing. And hopefully, beyond the event, WADA will stay engaged with these young creators and can help push some of these projects over the finish line.
Hey, Sydney, I am going to quickly jump in because I probably need to, sort of jump off. So many things happening. And I really want to add to what Sydney just said and, all the presentations that have gone before. And, all the work that has been done since September, October. We are now seeing the evidence of it in terms of these are really problems for people being solved by people, right? So this is not, somebody learning some cool code somewhere and trying thinking, oh yeah, maybe I should do that. But I do want to assure all of us on this side, we're doing everything we can. Like Solomon said, for you all to be able to go back to these chiefs and say, hey, you told us about your problem. We have a solution and we are with you for the long haul. So we are doing everything that we can. And we are very, very optimistic that we can keep building. So I just wanted to drop in here to say that. Please don't focus on only the top three. I know that we just needed a system to figure out, because we don't have unlimited budget, to figure out who we can fly to Nairobi. This by no means means that a lot of the other projects that have been submitted are lower in quality, just that we just needed something. So please tell your teams to keep building. We're going to have a post-summit incubation. We are looking for, we're setting that up. So there's still opportunity to keep showcasing all the work that you've done. And I know that we are short on time, so I will sort of wrap it up here. And again, I just want to say thank you to Prisma, to Tabs. They've done an amazing work, and also to all the teams on the ground, and more so to our evaluators for jumping in, sometimes at very short notice, and helping us review the value in these projects. So thanks everyone.
Thank you, Mercy. And this is timely. Thank you for just jumping in with this sort of motivation for me. I'm very keen on the incubation, which seems to bring all the other projects which are not in the top three in the equation, and we see how we can build some of these projects. That's very refreshing. Thank you. Any evaluator to want to make a quick reaction before we go to Herring from Nairobi? Okay, I think we can proceed now. So, Herring, if you can hear me, kindly unmute and let's have how events unfolded in Cardano NBO Hub in Nairobi.
Hi everyone. I'm Heri Nomolo, Cardano Hub Nairobi lead. I can say that this hackathon or the preparation has been such a nice experience, and we were able to reach out to so many people at the beginning. We were hosting our weekly study sessions every Thursday from 23rd. And we were able to have like enough time to reach out to people and be able to have different different people like students. We had a lot of devs as well. But the best thing was being given an outline or maybe a procedure or what to follow, like narrowing down into the community-based projects, which we were able to feed into everyone who was participating. And indeed, it really, really brought very good results to us. And we had like around 8 groups, that 8 teams, that is, that we were looking up to. That is after now dividing everyone. And it was very hard, just as my fellow hub leads have been saying, that it has really been hard to narrow down to 3 teams, because like you go through the projects and you are like, all of them are just like solving the problem, because that is what every team were working towards. So they were diving deeper into the community. And being that we had to narrow down and come up with the best 3, it forced us to just be able to make that decision, as said. So let me just go straight to the top 3 that we had. And our third team was ACAS, which was really focusing more on addressing the environmental and civic engagement challenges. So these are people who are coming deeper from, let me just use the word, somehow slum areas. And when they went there, they did their own research, and they found out about that their neighborhood struggled with waste management and also cleaning. But community participation was something that they really wanted to engage them into how to be able to solve such a problem. So you can see that this is something that is diving deeper into the community and solving the first-hand problem. That is actually, it's just, let me just say, in most African countries, these are problems that we are facing. And we had to rank it the top 3, because we saw that this is something that was going to solve like first-hand problems. So the team were looking forward for to use a simple mobile app to document and verify cleanup work. Like they just wanted a way they can get this done in a unique way, not just as it's being practiced everywhere. So we felt like that was such a nice idea, and that is why we ranked it. It was among our top 3 projects. So if I go to our second one, the second one was the Scalify, which was also tackling the informal labor economy, which employs the majority of Kenyan youth. So skilled workers like plumbers, electrician. You can see these are people who are just in the community, and these are problems that they are going through. So they just picked the problems that are in the community, things that you can just relate with if maybe at some point you've been around Africa, or let me say East Africa. So you find that most plumbers and electricians and also drivers, those are some, just to mention a few, often rely on just word of mouth, or let me say informal channels for jobs. Payment failures, those are some of the things that they go through, the disputes, and also, let's say, lack of reputation tracking. Those are very, very common. So what these projects were looking to, let me say, to solve was they wanted to provide now trust for maybe trust, reputations, and payment protection, all of which are absent in this informal economy. So that is why they wanted to come up with a platform to address youth unemployment by enabling market access rather than creating artificial jobs. So you can see this is so much deeper into the community, and it's something that is really, really solving the problem. So when we sat down as hub leads, we were able to come up to pick this project because it's really necessary for us. So when we were making the decision, it was me and also Darlington, who is not around here, but he was there, and we participated in making these decisions to come up with these top 3 projects. When I go to our best project now, like that is now the number 1 project that we saw, It's called wanachama. Wanachama is just it's a Swahili word that is meaning just like individuals belonging to the same group. Let's say like the merry-go-round, if you've ever heard of that. These are like chamas are where, like, let's say people come together maybe to contribute some money, and then maybe you're in a group of 10, and then we give it like monthly to someone. So that is what the wanachama basically mean, because it's a Swahili, so I had to explain that. So I think these are groups that are like all over Kenya. Let me speak to Kenya alone for now. These are all over Kenya, where you find there are so many groups, so many, be it even the students who are still in schools. You find them, maybe they're given pocket money, they want to keep it, and then they go into that merry-go-round thing and give it to someone. It's like a saving, it's like a way of savings, or maybe a way of saving your money, or just like putting it together so that it come at once. This is something that many women are using in Kenya, even to pay school fees. So, and also people are using it to like an investment part of it. But now this project is it is trying to solve the problem of trust, because when you are like in such a group, they don't have like very formal way of doing everything, or maybe protecting their own money, or maybe making sure that it is safe wherever it is, because it's given to one person, and then that person maybe keeps it. When it gets to the time where one person is now being given, then he gives it or she gives it. So you find out that it's not safe. You find that trust is not there at all, and that is where this project comes in, to solve now the trust thing problem, to do away with it. So the wanachama, we pick it as the top because it directly strengthens an existing behavior rather than introducing an entire new system. This is a behavior that is already existing. So they're just strengthening it to make sure that it is really, really safe and secure for those who are working, or maybe those who are using it. So it's a problem that it is something that is already there. They're not going to start from zero. They're not going to start going around introducing like something totally new that people doesn't have. They're just there to make sure that these groups now can be like registered. They can be able to keep their money or their saving or whatever they call it into a way that they really now trust that they can get that money at the end of the day or at the end of the month, depending with how they are giving it out. So we saw that this is something that is existing, and it is really, really, really very common. So we found, we thought that it's really, really a bright idea, a very brilliant idea to bring it on board. And when it's this project, it's really going to help so many people, be it youths under 18, be it, let's say, single mothers, or even, let's say, families, anybody. Like, you find that in a group of 10, even at our workplace, there are people who are in those chamas that I'm talking about. So it is something that is diverse, that when it's really, if it's dug deeper, it's really going to solve a lot of problems. And I know it's really going to give back to the community. So the whole process of the hackathon was so good. It's such a nice experience, and we really were able to reach out to so many people, and we trust that at the end of the day, something is going to change deep into the community. That is my presentation. Thank you.
Hey, Harry, thank you very much. That was brilliant, always outspoken, and thank you for the high-level presentation. Frederick from Zambia, MIBT. Can you hear me, Frederick? Hello, Fred.
Yes, please. Audible?
Yes. The The ball is in your court now, Frederick.
Thank you so much. I believe I'm the last one.
No, you are not. We have two. When you are done,
Okay.
Laurentine from Bobo de la Soul and also Alfred.
Okay.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Interesting. Coincidentally, you've interested to know that as MIBT Cardano Hub, we actually came in later than most participants, and I think it was a couple of hours before the deadline for hub selection, so to speak. Yeah. So you can see where we are coming from. So that has really actually pushed us, to try to, align and also learn quite quickly so that we settle down into the program. Although it's been a bit challenging, this has actually motivated us to want to focus on clarity over speed. And this has also motivated us to focus on systems thinking over isolated solutions and collaboration over silos. So we made this intention very clear from the very beginning. And you'll be interested also to know that if you check quite well, you notice that we are the only hub that is participating in this hackathon, representing the entire Southern Africa. I think, So yeah, so this has added a strong sense of responsibility, and purpose to our participation. Yeah, so it's been a lot of pressure, but quite interesting. The setup is quite different from what we are used to, and it's exciting. Okay, especially for me as a hub lead, because there's a lot of learning in the process, and I'm loving it. Okay, and not to mention that leading up to the in-person hackathon, most of our hub members were attending a 3-week in-person workshop. Sector focused on artisanal and small-scale mining and cooperatives. But interestingly, some of the innovations that we are building were also influenced by our being in this workshop. You can imagine we had over 500 participants in one place, where you had small-scale miners, you had people in cooperatives, and this is a government program. So it also brought the community closer, apart from the rest of the communities that we've been interacting with in our local communities. So this brought another community in one place. But interestingly, you also be interested to know that the way we've been conceptualizing our innovations is not just purely local, but we're also looking at scalability. We are very much aware about the integration of African economies into a single market. The last 5 years with the coming of the FCFTA. So we've not just been looking at innovations that can make impact locally, but can they also scale, to the continent, trying to impact close to 1.4 billion, people across Africa. Now, a major shift in this participation has been moving away from coding first. I think that's one thing I noticed when we came in. Yeah, we're not rushing into coding, but we had to go into storytelling. Okay, we had to put the story together, focus on the user context, problem narratives, and also as a hub, we've been looking at system relationship and integration, like I mentioned. And the aspect of documentation also has been another interesting feature. So we are trying still to catch up on that one, settling down, but we are doing what we can in order to catch up. Now, initially we had 12 potential innovations that we would have wanted to participate in the hackathon, but like I mentioned, the time we came in and other commitments, it wasn't very easy to align the teams. So as we went by, and by the time we're getting to the in-person hackathon, we had 5 successful innovations. Okay, and what we did, we knew that the requirement was looking at the top 3. So what we did was we used a criteria that ranked these innovations. Okay, instead of just focusing on the 3, we had to rank all the 5, just in case. Although we noticed in our submission again, there were only 3 provisions, right? Yeah, but would have loved all the innovations to like have an opportunity to participate. So how have we fared with the first innovation that came out that was ranked highest? The ranking was done by mentors, and then the organizers and the participants themselves. Okay, so they unanimously participated in the ranking. And StartShield, okay, which is a core platform, is the one that came out the highest. This innovation actually provides Web3 insurance first feature, if you like. And then it also addresses issues of identity and recovery layers. It's anchored on critical records and events on the Cardano platform. That's what this innovation is capable of doing. And then it acts as the trust and protection backbone for the ecosystem. Okay. So we made it very clear and intentional that as the other innovations we're building, they also had to integrate StartShield, STSH, which has got 3 layers. Okay, STSHU for utility token, STSH R for real world assets, and then STSH X for liquidity and exchange. Okay, so the second innovation is called Uhuru. So Uhuru is a Swahili word that means freedom, right? And Lang obviously is coming from language. Yeah. So now what is Uhuru Lang? Uhuru Lang is we believe is gonna be the first Web3 African programming language. Okay. So interestingly, imagine African developers building this, okay? Because this one enables development in African languages like Swahili, which is now the official language of the African Union, the 54 countries that we mentioned that are part of the FCFTA. And then we have, in Zambia, for example, the major language is Chibemba. Now imagine you have programmers who are able to use their indigenous language to code and to program without having, first of all, to learn, programming into another language, and then coming to start building innovations with AI assistance and language models and things like that. So this is how this innovation is being built. And not only does it provide, Africans with an indigenous programming language, it also provides developer onboarding and digital skills pipeline. Okay, it supports localization and long-term sustainability for the ecosystem. Let me talk about the third innovation. This one is called Village Chain Bank, which was also inspired by that physical workshop that I talked about. This one also is integrated into StartShield, as it uses, first of all, it encourages strengthening of corporate governance around these cooperatives, because that's one of the biggest challenges that we are facing, not just here in Zambia, but across Africa. You'd be interested to know that there's more collaboration now in Africa than ever before because of the FCFTA, like I mentioned. So this is a common story across Africa. Cooperatives is one of the vehicles that the governments are using to empower, their citizens, but they are almost all the time these governance issues. So this innovation is addressing that. It's also looking at member and group identity. It's looking at savings and lending records on Cardano, risk profiling, and then it enables insurance-backed village banking. Remember, it's also connected to StartShield, which is a core platform which provides insurance first, Web3 insurance first. And then it anchors on governance and transparency through the StartShield trust layer. Now, like I mentioned, we not just focus on the three.
Be wrapping up because time is on our side.
Okay, so those were the first three, but of course the fourth one was it's called ASME X mining. This is a mining innovation that helps to solve the problem of high cost of exploration. So it's able to work offline, and most of these small scale mines are outside coverage area, but it's able to address all that. It's able to address risk scoring, insurance eligibility, miner insurance cover, mineral tracing for government and compliance, and things like that. And lastly, it's a platform called AFYEF, Digital Enterprise and Trade. So this one too is plugged into StartShield, but it focuses at providing solutions for youth and women entrepreneurs within the FCFTA ecosystem. Okay, so those are the innovations. In closing, allow me to mention just that this program has actually reinforced that real-world exposure is able to actually strengthen innovation. And over the program, we've learned that storytelling also has an impact and actually improves system design. We're also learning that documentation enables scale. So together, these 5 innovations, like I mentioned, they form a cohesive Africa-first Web3 ecosystem anchored on Cardano and ready for continental engagements, leading up to the CATS 2026. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Hey, Fred, thank you very much. Let me quickly switch over to Laurentine, who is representing Bobo Diraso Hub. Hi, Laurentine.
Hello, Samuel. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So this is Laurentine from Burkina Faso in Bobo Dioulasso, representing the Incuba Hub. We having to participate in this hackathon was a very great opportunity for us as a hub, and it was our first experience. It was very challenging, but with the help of the mentors, we were able to to go to up to this stage. We started when we registered quite a number of people from Bobo Julaso and Ouagadougou. We registered 5 people from Ouagadougou, and the rest of them were in Bobo Julaso here where we are based. And it was we had meetings in Ouaga and also meetings in Bobo. Our first meeting was we just took an advantage of a workshop we were already organizing to communicate and also try to get in touch with the community because they are all part of our community here.
Laurentine,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you. Is it possible for you to try and move closer to the mic or something? You're just a little
Okay,
bit.
so let me connect with my computer because when I work with my laptop, with my phone, I always have this problem. So let
Okay.
me come quickly.
All right. We will wait.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Tabs, while we are waiting for Laurentine.
I think she's actually joining now. She's already in the waiting room.
Okay, I'm trying that. Wait.
I'm back.
Okay, hi. Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Okay, so I was saying that it was quite a challenging experience for me, in particular, as a person who know nothing about this technical aspect of the hackathon. But we were able to get to this point. We had wonderful mentors who assisted, and also hub leads from other countries who also helped. And I was saying that we began with a workshop that we had. It was already pre-organized with our community. It had nothing to do with the hackathon, but we just took advantage to because we gathered a large number of people to communicate on the hackathon and also to try to we allotted 30 minutes to talk about it and then also chat with the community to get some kind of feedbacks because at that point we did not really understand the process. Yeah, it was with time that I got to really get the process we were supposed to follow. And yeah, after that we had a couple of meetings in person and online to gather the teams, try to mentor them, giving them guidance. And when the teams were formed, they started their meeting their communities to try to know what could be the problem that they could focus on. So at some points we had we're able to put in place 7 teams of 5 people each. But as time went, 2 of them dropped, not because they were not interested, but because one of the team members lost his mother, was the top contributor of the team, so they could not continue. Another team, 2 of them were selected from their university to attend a conference abroad. So we were left with 5 teams. And those 5 teams, we had Ox Team, we had Bukindi, we had BC Elite, we had Awesome Bikes, and also Smart Coders. So after the meetings we had, where we were guiding the teams, listening to them, trying to give them all the feedbacks we were getting from mentorship, we now organized a hackathon where we invited many people. Most of them were developers because we decided that our selection, our evaluation system would involve the public. So 50% votes from the public and then 50% from the judge were 3, 2 in Burkina Faso here and 1 in Cameroon. But unfortunately, on the hackathon day, we had challenges with the internet, so we did not run votes on Mentimeter, because that's what we wanted to do, so that the people from Cameroon could also vote. I mean, they could also help us with the evaluation. So we just proceeded with paper. We after every team came to pitch their project, we allowed the audience to vote. There were people who were quite vested in, I mean, they understood exactly what was going on, and they were able to vote. But we needed to still meet to have another vote that would count for 50%. So we had that meeting on the 3rd of December, and we voted. And after we calculated the votes, and it was based on the criteria that we mentioned in the documentation. Because of time, I don't want to go through that now. So we voted the first team. Our top team is Bukindi. Bukindi, their project is based on what they call social pain. So what they are trying to solve is, it went from the fact that in Burkina Faso here, we have a group of people, there are quite a number of them scattered across the cities, who are called the internally displaced people. So that is caused by terrorism in some parts of Burkina Faso. Because of that, they left their regions, they are scattered all over the cities. And there are some grants or funding that are allocated to them, but they noticed that some of them, because they went to meet them, they noticed that some of them don't receive the fundings. And even those who are registered, they are registered twice. So some people are even registered twice, thrice, and they are taking provisions and money support that they are receiving, whilst those who are really in need, they are not getting anything. So this is what they are trying to solve. They are trying to put a platform where all those aids can be controlled, yeah, in a very fair manner, and not only for displaced people, but for any organization that would like to support any community group of people who are in need. So they want to ensure that these people, their money is really getting to the right uh, uh, people, the people who deserve to be receiving those aids. And then our second, it was really good because it is relevant at this point, because we see all those people, they have nowhere to be, they lost everything, and they cannot go back to their regions, and they are not being treated fairly. And yeah, so it is the reason why we gave this project the top one. Even with the votes, with the audience votes, they were second. Yeah. And with the judges' vote, they were first. So when we combined everything, they came first anyway. So the second one was Ox Team. Ox Team, they are trying to help people solve I mean, they concentrated more on traders, those who buy and sell goods from abroad. And they went to discuss with them at the markets, because most of them travel a lot. And sometimes they don't travel, they just order their goods and they are sent to them. But they notice that they have problems with sending money abroad and also receiving money. And so they are trying to put a platform in place where people can also, like, giving a cryptocurrency as alternative for payments, and where people can be able to use those platforms without the internet through mobile money. So they want to create a platform where you can withdraw your money, your cryptocurrency, directly to your mobile money. So if you go to the demo, you will see all the process they put in place. And then the third project, the third team was A-Bikes, Awesome Bikes. These are people who were interested in students. In Burkina Faso here, the main means of transportation is motorbike. And mostly in every home, there's at least one motorbike. There are a lot of cars around, but it is their culture. But they notice that there are also buses, I mean, public buses that the government put in place to help those who cannot afford a motorbike. They realize that with the buses, it is not easy because you cannot trust I mean, it is not always, they are not in movement all the time. And if you want to take a bath, you have to wait for some particular moments or particular times in the day before you can do whatever you want to do. But they want to put it in place, this what they call awesome bikes. That will be like they will have stations where they will scattered around across the city, where anybody who wants to move from one point to another can have access to a bus. And then when you finish your errands, you can just drop it at the nearest station. The bus, I mean, not the bus, the bike at the nearest bike station. Yeah, and then they want to conduct that all through an app. So I think if we go through their demo, it is well explained there. And I think this project, I don't know why, personally, I voted this project first because it is really, 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 really something that is very relevant here. Because everybody, if you come to Burkina Faso, it's motorbikes everywhere. So it is a project that if it is put in place, it's going to help a lot of people. So thank you very much once again to the organizing team, to Prisma, WADA, everybody. Thank you, Samuel. We wanted you a lot, especially me. Yeah, it was not easy, but thank you very much for your support. Yeah, it was a nice experience, and I'm really, really grateful.
Yeah, Laurentine, thank you. Always exciting working with Laurentine in particular. I mean, yeah, I like the experience. Thank you, Laurentine, for working with us, honey. And we had some challenges, but we were able to navigate through. Today we are here. Thank you for everything, including submitting your teams and successfully presenting to our evaluators here today. Thank you. I think there's one last hub. I've not seen them, but let me call out. Tabs, have you by any chance seen Alfred on a call?
Is Project Genius not here?
Yeah.
Right. Let me reach out to them now and see if I can get them to join.
Okay, so while we probably wait for them, because that is the last hub to join, at this point, maybe our evaluators can take turns to make a general reaction. I don't know, you can give some more context, and then we can be drawing the curtains down. Hi, Clement.
No, I think I'm fine. I'm just taking my time through the group and looking at how to already get started. So thank you.
Awesome. Sydney, are you around?
Yes, Samuel, I am here. Yes. As I mentioned before, and it was mentioned by some of the hub leads that this hackathon was really more about solving problems more than understanding the technical end of coding. And there's a lot of challenges that exist on the continent, not on the continent only. But some of the solutions that I was hearing were almost universal. What I mentioned before, this is amazing for the event that's coming up in Nairobi. But even beyond the event, I think it's important that the hub leads and then also, some of the developers understand that these solutions are not only solutions that can benefit their local areas, but these are really powerful ways to think through problems that exist universally as well. So excited to see where things go. I know on my end, I try to focus on financing, wherever possible, and bringing together, people who want to support projects. So any way that I can be of assistance, I think this is amazing. I think this is very creative, and I think I'm hoping that the solutions that come, out of this event that you guys are putting together can kind of see the light of day and be able to impact quite a few people's lives. And I know my friend Mermos is here on the call. Always got to give a shout out to Mermos. That's my guy. And then all and you as well, Tabs. Being able to reconnect with you, and then all of the other folks that I've been able to connect with through my relationships with WADA.
Thank you, Sydney. At this point, Tabs, any kind words for our facilitators? Sorry, our evaluators. I think they have been amazing, even staying throughout this call for such long hours. And then after
Yeah.
that, you said you had some questions for the hub leads. If you're able to do that, or maybe we can find another time for that.
Yeah, I think let's try and wrap it up relatively swiftly. This has been almost 3 hours, so
Yeah.
yeah, massive thank you to everyone who's still here, and especially to the evaluators. Thank you for the generosity of your time. And a massive thank you to all of the hubs and all of the projects. It's been really enjoyable listening to everyone present their work. They all sound so legit, super, super genuine projects and work happening on the ground. So I will second what Sydney has already said. I really hope we can find sponsorship for this work
Yeah.
to continue.
Tab, go ahead.
No, that was it. I'm done. I'll hand it to you
Oh,
for the final word.
nothing much to say, except to also thank everyone, our facilitators, our hub leads. It's been a long journey. We have all learned a lot, and thank you guys, even on this call, for joining us. Those of you who have been here since we started till now, thank you very much. And hope to speak to you soon. But Taz, before we go, any updates on who is joining us in Nairobi in terms of the top 3 projects? Are the results out? And when should they expect the results?
The results are not out yet, Sam, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Okay. So somebody just asked in the chat, they wanted to find if the results are out. Okay, so from Tabs, the results are not out yet, so hold your fire. But we should
Yeah.
be able to reach out to you possibly tomorrow or Sunday, before Monday. You'll hear us. We're going to write you a mail detailing the results and the possible next steps. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good evening, a good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are joining us from, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Tab, you want to stay on for a quick debrief, like